All right, I got what 30. We're gonna jump right into it today, everyone. Kind of a weird class today because it is. We'll go ahead and say officially, at least the last live workout that I'm going to program for. So the timing kind of ended up kind of working out perfectly for us. Where hopefully, if you joined me here the past year, you've at least noticed that I follow a little bit of a pattern for these workouts. I do try to program for these as we go week to week. So basically, what I want to do today, since it is our last live session, I want to just make sure that the information I've been providing didn't go over anyone's head. And so I want to make it a little bit more obvious the patterns that I've been following. So again, FitCamp. So usually consists of a 30-minute workout, trying to make it a full body workout. 30 minutes isn't quite enough to focus on one thing for too long. So usually I kind of prioritize parts of the workouts over others. Some get more time, less time, whatever it might be. But again, that's part of the pattern that I want you to notice. So first thing on the board that you see is going to be MP. That's our movement prep. Movement prep is our warm-up. So that's piece one. Again, if you've been joining me, you've noticed the pattern. We always start with a warm-up. So our movement prep is our warm-up. So over the past year, we've done all kinds of things to warm up. So a couple of we whip out the mini bands, a couple of hip exercises with the mini band for a warm up. The jump rope, we've done the jump rope. We hit some jumping rope for a warm up. But basically, the point is you want to do something to get the blood flowing, something to get you moving a little bit. So here's a nice, easy high march. We've done butt kicks, things like that. Again, just to get you moving, get the heart rate going, get the blood flowing. So we've hit this, our high knee march, butt kicks, long kicks, our runner's warm up, mini band warm up, that glute bridge, all kinds of exercises to warm up. So as I'm kind of lecturing, if you all want to get into your favorite warm up, this would be a great time for you to get into your favorite warm up, get into movements, exercises that perhaps are tight, perhaps need to be warmed up a little bit more. I know I've mentioned this before, but when we go on a run, my calves and hips always tighten up. So I always put an emphasis in the warm-up on my calves and my hips. So moving on from our movement prep, so from the warm-up, we get into now, you will always see the PP on the board, so our pillar prep. That's a little bit of ab work. For our ab work, an exercise that you've probably seen on here multiple times. So an exercise that we included as part of our ab routine for a while now would be this dead bug position here, all four limbs in the air, and then opposites move or same side. All kinds of different movements that we've done in here with this dead bug position. Number two kind of makes that movement a little more difficult. So our V up, hands overhead, Leg extended out. They come up to the top and they meet. So our V up here. So the warm up usually takes about six of our 30 minutes. So about 6 minutes, so nothing too crazy. After the warm up, our pillow prep takes usually I try and go about at least 4 minutes. So that V up, the dead bug. Then we get into our plyometrics. And this is where it starts. We start kind of picking and choosing. If you're going to run, then you don't perform too many plyometrics. If you're not going to run, maybe your plyometrics is a little bit longer. But for plyometrics, we've done things like for plyometrics, you really don't even need any equipment, but I will demo a couple of the exercises that we've done. So plyometrics, jump rope, hurdle hop, box jump. Again, those are some of the exercises we've done. If you don't have a jump rope, that's fine. You're just pretend you get off the ground, little hops, pretend you have a jump rope. Also, I brought out like this yoga block. There's my hurdle, 2-footed takeoff into 2-footed landing, hurdle hop, over, turn around, back, hurdle hop, over. So there's your hurdle, you're just hopping over it. Everybody knows what a box jump is. Again, here's my box. And then again, it is a 2-footed takeoff into 2-footed landing. For height, the bigger, the taller your box, the harder it is. So again, just your traditional box jump. And so again, like I mentioned, this is where it gets a little tricky from plyometrics. Usually, either we go into strength, okay, so I've been pretty big on body weight for the past year just because equipment has been difficult to get. So typically after our plyometrics, either we get into strength or we get into our cardio, or yes, sometimes we will do both. So as an example today, on here, I'll show you strength. And for strength, all it is what I want you to think of when you're performing your strength is added resistance. So added weight. So it could be anything. It could be obviously dumbbells here. Add a dumbbell, that's instantly makes everything harder because you're adding weight. It could be up here, resistance bands. Again, any added resistance to make it difficult, to make the movement a little more difficult. If again, perhaps strength isn't what you want to focus on, or maybe the equipment is something that's difficult for you, then we move on to, and then get you to skip. We can even skip strength and go straight to our energy systems development. So ESD, energy systems development. And for us for the past year, it's been a run. I've thrown different types of runs at you all, runs for time, runs for distance, walks, jogs, bike rides. So again, that'll count as cardio. Now I'm saying run, I just said bike ride, but something that's gonna bring that heart rate up. bring the heart rate up and sustain it up for a long period of time. This past year, I've recommended at least, we've always shot for somewhere between absolute minimum would be like 8 minutes of cardio. Lastly, and it's something that I haven't been able to put a huge focus on here in class, but at the bottom, if you can read it, would be our regeneration, so our recovery. So unfortunately, in a 30-minute class, I don't have too much time to focus on regeneration on camera. So usually the regeneration comes at the very end of class when I am, as an example, I'll tell you to take a hot shower, go get some protein, go get some water, whatever it might be. But those are little things that you can do to speed up your recovery, help you feel a little bit better after a workout. So what you see on screen right now, again, would be the blueprint, the outline of a workout. What you plug in there is completely up to you. Hopefully, if you've been keeping up with these classes for the past year, you have a huge library of not only workouts, not only class, not only exercises, but a library that you can pick and choose the routines that you like, the routines that you don't like, based off of equipment, based off of your preference, based off of your goals, whatever it might be. I have really enjoyed doing these classes for you all. Love practicing my on-camera class skills, those type of things. But at the end of the day, since we're transitioning from virtual, I would love to see you all in person in the gym, providing the exact same class. But now we're in there together, and in person we'll be able to go a little bit longer, more like 45 minutes. So screenshot what you see on the screen. This is your blueprint. This is how I would want you to structure your workouts every single day. Like I said, everything else, the menu, you can pick routines, you can pick what you want to focus on, cardio, strength, those kind of things. But other than that, that's really it for class for today. That's what I wanted to cover. Other than that, if you all have any questions, reach out to the YouTube channel, the comments, send us a message directly. But again, I just want to cap it off. This is our last virtual meeting. Would love to see you all in person if you're here in Austin. If you're on Mountain View, reach out to your coaches and let's see if we can start getting some things going in person. Other than that, a little warm outside, maybe a run, a bike ride. I'm not going to ask too much of you today on our last day. You will always be able to pull up the video library, knock out a class. They're all structured the same, so hopefully this lecture that I gave today kind of will set you up to be able to pull up any of my videos, any of these FitCamp videos, and at least get a little 30-minute workout. So good work, everyone.